I start this, y'all make sure go check out the content, man. Uh, shit's doing really good right now. We almost at 6,700 subscribers, and we keep growing. I got a video that's months old, doing really well. Almost at 10,000 views. I appreciate y'all for even continuing to watch the content, even being interested. And to be honest, I wish I could meet each and every person that watch this shit and shake y'all hand and give y'all a hug or whatever. You know what I mean? So virtually, shake my hand. Shout out Jay Black. I stole that from him. Shake my hand. Virtual hug. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I want to talk about right now is how Drake is a great example of everything that we probably shouldn't be a part of. And unfortunately, with me almost being burnt out on doing this content, almost not even wanting to have this YouTube channel no more, but it's still growing. It made me realize something about myself. You know, it made me realize, like, don't get caught up in wanting to, be the biggest in your field. Or, of course, you want to have a competitive nature. I'm not saying that. Stay competitive spirit, but it does get to a point where you have to realize that everything should come with a limit or a cap on it. You know what I mean? So I don't know if y'all know. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, right? But early in Drake's career, he got robbed for his chain. Got set up by a female, right? And a lot of people really speculated that he may have cooperated with the police. You know what I mean? Uh, and so that right there, I think, gave Drake somewhat of an idea on how to come up with this image. I really do think that moment of him getting caught up with that female, him getting robbed for his chain, and all of that shit really made him realize, like, I either got to continue to be seen as somebody who's soft, or I have to, over time, change in his mind for the betterment of his safety. And I don't think that he likes people calling him corny, or people calling him soft, or calling him light skinned, a Canadian, Jewish, half black. I don't think he likes that stuff. But I really do think that comes from that robbery, because if we're going off of just how hip hop and raps look at certain things, or how people respect people, no one would probably respect somebody getting their chain took and not having no retaliation around it. And that was around the same time when he started to interact a lot heavier with people who were in some type of gang culture, basically people who was in the streets, you know what I'm saying? And for me, what I see somebody who's, using fame, using drugs, using women to try and cope with the fact of what he really is. He's just human. Get what I'm saying? And I think that he wanted to get further and further away from the image of being looked at as a soft, like a bitch, or a simp or something like that. So when I go back and listen to Drake's music, and people always criticize him for making songs about women either in a negative or positive light, or making songs about women who probably aren't the best for him, it makes sense. It makes a lot more sense to me just because of that robbery. He probably, around the time when he got famous, you know, he made a choice in his head to get further and further away from that person that he didn't want to be. But I think Drake is a great example of how to not change yourself and go through a metamorphosis of turning, because I do think that he felt like it was safer for him to be around people who had a certain stature in the streets. But that slowly started to influence him to think that he's maybe from the streets, or he maybe needs to get in beefs in order to prove himself, or maybe he needs to talk shit about people. And it makes so much more sense of him responding to everything and everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. I don't want to be considered no bitch. I don't want to be considered no soft nigga. So of course, I'm gonna try to pick and choose my battles. You feel me? I don't want to feel like somebody gonna set me up again. I don't want somebody to feel like they can come around me and set me up again. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Ralphie? What's up, I'm Fat? What's up, The Mix? So I really, really, truly think that Drake is a great example of both sides of change. Like, on one hand, of course, you would want to change to be a better person. And of course, you would want to be safe in this society, especially if you have value and people see you as a valuable being. And, they feel that they could use you, or, get something from you. On the other hand, though, you have to be very careful, because that same thing, that same feeling of you wanting to be safe could turn into you wanting to be safe around things and people that probably later on down the line, if you think further into it, it might change you. So we got to start being very careful with our choice. What's up, KO Nightmare? What's up, I'm Fat? We got to start being a lot more careful with the choices that we make. Even though people are clowning Drake right now because of the lawsuit, people are clowning Drake right now because he lost the battle with Kendrick Lamar. People are clowning Drake right now because they feel like he's not even who he is, who he once was. If you really think about it, he's only human, so can you blame him? Again, I'm not trying to cope for all the things that Drake have said about Kendrick Lamar. What's going on, KO Nightmare? I'm good, man. I'm just chilling, man. I'm, just trying to put some good energy out there, some good subject matter for people to think about. Hey, for everybody right now, too, Faxa, KO Nightmare, I'm Fat. Hey, I need y'all, if y'all have time, y'all tell me where y'all watching from, and y'all tell me what time it is where y'all watching from right now. So drop the time and drop where you from. You know what I'm saying? But let's get back to it. I think Drake forgot that he's only human, and you can only take so much shit before you crack under pressure. And everybody's like that. It doesn't matter how much cash you have. It doesn't matter how many assets you have. It doesn't matter how many. Shout out to Virginia. It's 4:13 a.m. in Virginia. Shout out Virginia. It doesn't matter how many chains you buy. It doesn't matter how many guns you got on the side of the pool. It doesn't matter how many hits you come out with. You still have to, at the end of the day, go to sleep and wake up with that feeling of emptiness, or that feeling of you being something that you're not. And that can tear you up more than anything. Get what I'm saying? I'm Fat. Chill out. I'm Fat. We all here on some positive shit. You know what I'm saying? We all out here on some positive shit right now. If you in this live, I hope you catching the vibe of me just wanting to be positive. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all I'm pushing right now. I ain't trying to have no trolls in my shit or whatever. If you want to troll, that's fine. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's 2:30 a.m. in Canada. Shout out to Canada. 2:30 a.m. Shout out to Virginia. It's 4:13 in Virginia. Shout out to VA. Shout out to Canada. Um, we have to point out. Shout out to Moscow. It's 1:15 in Moscow. Shout out to Moscow. Shout out to Canada. Shout out to Virginia. We have to take Drake's situation, and yeah, it's cool to make jokes, because I mean, at the end of the day, he set it up for himself to be the joke, right? To be the butt of the joke. That's on his behalf. You know what I'm saying? 4:13 p.m. Well, shout out to motherfucking Virginia. It's 4:13 p.m. We have to take the Drake situation, dealing with Kendrick Lamar, dealing with Meek Mill, dealing with females, dealing with the cash, dealing with the labels. You're only human, and Drake, if your team or somebody ever sees this, you have to remind yourself that you're only human, bro. You can try to play this God complex, this six God complex, which I felt like people praising them, calling them six God, that doesn't help with your mental, because you feel like you're above being human. And I just don't like the fact that Drake feels like he's above being a human, because you're getting more humanized and humbled every day of the week. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're making it hard for people to try to see you. Is the reason why people are clowning you right now. Subconsciously, people see that you are making human mistakes. And you're not accepting the fact of that. You're not accepting the fact that people have saw you change over time. Now, people can make excuses and say Fame does this, he got dealt wrong, this, and that, and the third. At the end of it, though, you have to accept that. And not just Drake, me, you, everybody in Moscow, in Russia, in Virginia, everybody. Everybody in this world has to slowly realize that they are human. You're not going to go through something without feeling something and having to figure out why you feel that way. You know what I'm saying? And Drake is the perfect example, I feel like, of when you lose yourself, this is how it looks. Now, people might want to call Drake more feminine than what a man should be. You get what I'm saying? Because of him painting his nails and the certain shit he wears, and just all of this shit. I personally, this is my personal opinion. I have no information to confirm or deny, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like drugs aren't also an issue with Drake. Let's just go to the obvious, because he talks about drinking a lot. You know what I'm saying? He talks about drinking a lot. He talks about how when he does drink, he gets in his feelings. And that probably reminds him of all of the situations, just like anybody else, right? Because he's human. That reminds him of the situations like the robbery, the shooting at his house, how females played him having a baby with a porn star, and all this criticism that comes. It only reignites and reinforces that false safety that he created to be around these people who he consider friends that protect him from what he feels like is a threat. You know what I'm saying? And we all go through that. We all go through life and have stages of being around people who we feel like makes us feel safer, but it's not true at all. In a way, you're manipulating and getting manipulated. You're manipulating your own feelings and going against your own free will of thought to be around something negative and turn it into a positive. Now, yes, you want to get a negative and turn it into a positive, but you don't want to be around a negative situation and try to make it a positive if you know that this situation is purely negative. You know what I'm saying? This is why it makes to me just looking at the situation. Drake drinking, Drake doing pills. I mean, he's a superstar. He probably has tried cocaine, probably has tried, who knows what he's done. You know what I'm saying? You can tell, I'm going to assume that he's done more drugs than what we could think of, because he has to done Adderall. He has to stay up, go on tour. He has to worry about if somebody's finna shoot his house up. He has to worry about if females finna expose him or whatever. He has to worry about if this person is trying to use me or if that person actually loves me. This is why you always see him not blame himself for situations. I've never heard Drake say it's my fault. We've always heard Drake say, I ain't got no friends in the industry. No, I can't trust nobody. That only shows that you can't trust yourself, though. You're only self-projecting how you feel about yourself through other people and through your music. You get what I'm saying? Even if we take the recent beef that he had with Kendrick Lamar, if you look at everything, it makes sense. He's questioning if Kendrick Lamar kids is his. You know what I mean? He's probably been through that situation, so he self-projected that shit. You know what I'm saying? Onto Kendrick, because he probably had some issues with children and dealing with women and women lying on him. You get what I'm saying? And it's been proven. It's not like what I'm saying is not true. He's had issues with women accusing him of it being his child or not. You get what I'm saying? He's literally said in his songs, I take DNA tests just to make sure it got to be my child. And that's happened multiple times to him throughout his career. You know what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point where you can see the self-projection. I just think he has to realize what he's doing. Now, for the public eye, it might be too late for people, but it's never too late for the person. You know? And I think the lawsuit shows way more than what he probably would have wanted to show to people. Because now what you're doing is that you're showing everything in the lawsuit that's going on. You're trying to neutralize people's opinions when some of that shit probably was right about you. You get what I'm saying? Some of that stuff was probably right. Some things probably wasn't true. But how could you live with yourself trying to neutralize people's opinions when it could have helped you over time? You get what I'm saying? Like, regardless of the fact of how people feel about Drake or any superstar for that matter. I mean, hell, even Kendrick was open. God damn, this damn fly, man. That or whatever. Anyway, you know, Kendrick even being open about his drinking should let you know that when y'all were cool at one point, you probably could have called Kendrick and said, hey man, look, I'm having certain issues, man, with these females, with drugs, with this stardom, with fame. I just really need somebody to talk to. I need some help. You know what I'm saying? Do you got any advice? And looking at how Kendrick is moving, maybe he would have gave you advice. He even said, man, the only person that at one point in time, it seemed like him and Drake did have somewhat of a relationship to talk to each other about the issues of going through superstardom, becoming an icon, having all these eyes on you. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people want to try to equate Kendrick's break to him falling off, or he waited for the opportunity. No, You don't know what that man was going through. He probably was wanting to be sober again. He probably just wanted to be around his kids and his family. He probably had to talk to Whitney and his mom and his niggas and check himself at the door. That shit takes time. And it's not like during that time he didn't drop verses and stuff like that. So we know he still wanted to do music, but you can see the difference between taking a break, coming back, looking refreshed, and Drake just continuing to continue to try to live up to this image. You know what I'm saying? So you're too caught up in rap culture, it consumes you and holds you back from being the best you can be. That's just any culture, really, man. It's not about necessarily rap culture. It's more about the psychological issues and negative impulses that come with that, and certain triggers, you know, that come with being human. This ain't about rap. It's about being human. Again, the title says Drake is a great example. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't even about rap. This is about you accepting your flaws and not trying to self-project your flaws onto other people because you're going through trials and tribulations and turmoils of self. You have country artists that do cocaine. You have pop artists that go through this. So this isn't, you have entertainers that go through this. You have people who fucking work at Target who go through this. When they get home, they have to figure out how to become a better person. They have to figure out how to attack their character defects. They have to figure this shit out. If they don't, they wouldn't want to go to work. They wouldn't be able to take care of their kids. They wouldn't be able to take care of their family. This has nothing to do with rap culture. This has everything to do with the psychological, mental, and emotional responses that people build up over time because they don't want to accept their flaws. So you self-project that onto other people. It's nothing to do with rap. I'm just using someone within the hip-hop rap culture who's also considered a pop star to open up subject matter for people to try and want to heal, you know, for people to want to heal, for people to want to look in the mirror and actually want to change. And it's a day-to-day thing. It won't happen in one day. It's a day-to-day thing. So this has nothing to do with really music at all. Every song that you hear, regardless if it's written by somebody or not, deep down, that person felt that way at some point to even want to do it. Even if they felt like they're in a great space. You could be the happiest person in the world and come out with the greatest sad songs ever. You could be one of the angriest motherfuckers and come out with one of the songs that is so calming and peaceful ever. It's just about you accepting yourself in that moment in time in order to change. It has nothing to do with rap. I'm just using somebody who has a name to open up subject matter for people to talk about their flaws. And hopefully when somebody watches this live, they really get where I'm coming from with that and not trying to minimize what I'm saying by saying what you're saying about rap culture and this and that. That's not even the case. It's so far, I'm so far removed from that in this conversation that it's almost offensive. You know what I mean? To say that. So trying to minimize it into rap culture. No, country is going through this. Pop is going through this. If you want to do that, everybody who's an icon is going through this. It's not just rap. You're associating my skin color with rap culture and assuming that that's what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out on content. Only thing I watch is podcasts here and there. You know what I'm saying? I listen to beats. I don't even this, you know what I mean? True, everyone's got flaws. The legends don't care about what others think of their flaws. They didn't become a legend by caring about the haters. That's true, but it's less about it's less about people being a legend. And see, that's the thing. When you start to label yourself something else, that's when you lose yourself. When you start to say, I'm an icon, I'm a superstar, I'm a god, I'm a legend, the only thing you really saying is, I don't want to be human. I want to be considered something higher than that. I want to be looked at differently than that. That's the only thing that I hear. You have to be human first before you become a legend. You have to be human first before you become a superstar, a successful superstar. You have to be human first before you even become wealthy or rich or anything like that. Because if you don't do that and you become those things, that will define you rather than you just being a fucking human. You get up and if you get up and you eat breakfast, you're gonna take a shit in like 3 or 4 hours. You're gonna digest food just like me. If I take a razor blade and cut myself and cut you, we're gonna bleed. You're human. So for those legends that don't give a fuck about people's opinions, to a point, yes, you don't want to put what society sees as negative on you, right? At the same time, some of that shit might be right about you. Sometimes your haters are your best observers. And if somebody come to you, you fucking dirty, you dusty, you need a haircut. And they could be fresh as they want to be. They could be fresh. But they know at one point in time in their life, they was in that box. They was in, box meaning they were in that same situation as you, not looking the best, not feeling the best, not smelling the best. I was depressed at one point. I was that at one point. Not wanting to be here, not bathing, and I'm a handsome guy. From what I've been told, I'm not trying to sound self-centered. I'm just saying, like, I'm not ugly. You know what I'm saying? You can look at me for more than 2-3 minutes and you might see a bump or some acne here and there, but I'm pretty well put together, I would say. I would say well put together, easy on the human eye, right? So I have been in a situation where I made myself not be pleasant to the human eye. I have had people tell me the truth, and I seen that as people hating, but they see more in me. You have to know the difference between somebody who's giving you constructive criticism and destructive criticism. And that's what's fucked up in society right now. A lot of people don't want to accept constructive criticism, and everybody's attacking them. Oh, they don't love me. Listen, man. You go through life, you wake up, you think everybody gonna be feeling hunky-dory every day? No, impossible. You got a president right now who ain't feeling the best about some of these people in America and he getting them the fuck up out of there. Who's to say Donald Trump won't wake up one day and be like, you know what? I fucked up. I'm not saying he is. I'm not trying to coat for him. I'm not a politician. This, channel isn't even delving into politics or, I don't do deep dives in that shit, policies and none of that. I'm just saying there's a small chance that Donald Trump can accept himself being human and not being the president of the United States. You have to be human first and then be the president of the United States. Get what I'm saying? He would be so much different. He would still get backlash because it's people that want to treat people inhumane. And those certain groups of people, in my opinion, shouldn't be here. Regardless of the fact those people are here, they exist in society because they don't see themselves as human. They see themselves as a higher form of whatever the fuck that is to them. You get what I'm saying? So being human is so key. That would make you people will look at you as a god once you accept yourself being totally human. It's crazy. Because you were made in God's image. It's not a mistake that once you start to see yourself as human and you start to actually attack your flaws, that people will see that shit in you and it will shine out of you. If you were made in God's image, you don't think that you can do godly shit? You don't think that you could touch someone like God has? You don't think that you can say words that touch people like how the Bible does? How any religion or belief or spiritual thing, you know what I'm saying? So this ain't me trying to clown Drake. I'm just using Drake's name because people know his name to attract people and open up a subject matter for people to want to heal. You know what I'm saying? I really want people to heal because we living in a day and time right now where we see a lot of hurt people hurting people. We see a shit ton of people hurting people. We got people who are on platforms smiling, talking about abusing women and trying to justify it. We got people talking about people as if they're dogs. We have certain religious beliefs that believe that you shouldn't be here. You could steal, you could kill, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's these certain these mental roadblocks, these age-old stumbling blocks that we keep falling for over and over again because we don't want to feel human. Humanity. People watch content to justify what they feel about when they treat someone inhumane. If you continue to watch content that shows you that it justifies you treating people inhumane, then you're going to continue to want to treat people inhumane. If you start to watch content that tells you you have been manipulating yourself, you have been manipulating people, you need to challenge your thought process, you need to challenge your mind, then you will slowly start to see that everybody else has this mask on. Everyone is wearing a mask. Everybody. There's few people out here that really will show themselves to you. Generally, everyone's out for their own benefit. Not many aren't selfish and willing to help if it doesn't benefit them. The ones that aren't selfish tend to help those that deserve it. Yes, for the most part, if you don't just blindly help and you help with a thought in woke society, you're absolutely correct. But if you just help without thinking, you're going to get manipulated. You have to challenge yourself to think and help with the thought. You can't sit out here and think, that it's just going to go good. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say that. I'm not saying, Kendrick is better than Drake or Drake is worse than Kendrick. It's just to simply show you the duality of one person actually wants to change. You know what I'm saying? One person wants to change, and the other person, you see that they kind of don't. The lawsuit also shows that he wants to create more shields. You know what I'm saying? Of like, no, I'm not living wrong. Like, that's the lawsuit is basically screaming, y'all are wrong. I'm not living wrong. You need to be living like me. Fuck everybody. I'm not a pedophile. I'm not weird. I can do what I want to do. No one can say this about me. Like, it gives off so much self-entitlement. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm going to continue to go back that you're made in God's image already. You have to accept the fact that you're human and you made mistakes and you're going to continue to make mistakes. But you have to sit down with yourself and say, what mistake do I not want to make today? Try not to repeat those mistakes. Try not to repeat those mistakes, and maybe you might touch somebody in the right way. This not on no funny shit, man. The word touch in this weird sexual underlying tone of everything that we got nowadays is fucking up words. There's too much sexual connection with words when we're just trying. If I say your energy has been sucked out of you, there's someone in the comments is gonna say, "Oh, pause," or what? Stop thinking about sex. That's a lower vibration. That's some primitive reptilian ass shit. We have to start using words and taking them for what they are. instead of trying to make a joke about every fucking thing all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like they messed up daddy for me too. Like I can't even call my dad in peace. Teach a man how to fish, don't give them a fish. Exactly. And teaching a man how to fish is giving him the tools. Giving him the tools, giving her the tools, giving them the tools to want to change. You can't force somebody to try to change, but you can give them the tools to do so. And then you no longer have the responsibility to try and help that person. My issue with myself is that I know the tools. I don't want to use them for some reason. Commitment is one of my biggest issues. This is why I be wanting to quit YouTube and all this shit. This is why I just don't, every now and again, I'm like, what the fuck am I here for? Why am I committed to this thing that's having me go through so much shit? It's a test for you to accept the fact that you're human. Stop making the same fucking mistakes over and over again, or try your hardest to change. At least try to change. At least try to make different mistakes because you're trying new shit. At least do that. You know what I mean? So it is what it is with that. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to fame, when it comes to wanting to be a superstar, when it comes to wanting to change your life for the better, don't get caught up in, don't make yourself feel safe around environments that are negative, because you're going to get manipulated. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about this shit. You're going to get manipulated. You know what I mean? So, hold on, y'all. So, you know, this is me personally why I do music, and I'm slowly starting to realize that I have messages that I want to get out to carry and try to help people change their life. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's a big responsibility, because I have to make myself somewhat of an example to do that. If I accept, however, that nigga, everybody else is going through this shit, people just got masks on. I've been fucked up out here. I've wanted to commit suicide. I've wanted to hurt people. I have hurt people. You know what I'm saying? I've hurt myself. That's why I wanted to hurt people, because I didn't get why I even wanted to do that to myself. So I wanted to take it out on other people. I wanted to talk down on other people. I wanted to feel like I wasn't human. I'm 33. With me now being 33, things have happened in my life to the point where I'm like, I have to accept the fact that I've made mistakes to put me in this position I am now. Let's not continue within the next 33 years to do the same shit, or you're going to be the same person at the age 66, at the age 99, and at the age, you know what I'm saying? For me, the biggest relief that I've had so far is knowing that I'm kind of a fuck up. I'm not fucked up, but I'm kind of, it's there. So let's change that shit. Actually sit down and commit to something. You know what I mean? Actually sit down and commit to something that'll help change your life. And maybe, just maybe, you have the power to save somebody else's if you just say that word that they need to hear, say that sentence they need to hear, give them that book, give them that piece of paper, whatever it is, send them that text, give them that call. You might actually save somebody's life, because you don't know later on down the line what you saved them from. It's not about trying to save a person like Superman right now at the moment in 0.2 seconds. It ain't about that. You can save somebody's life right now, because in 5 years, they're going to remember what you. I had somebody actually come up to me and tell me, man, you said something to me 2 years ago, and this shit still stuck with me to this day. Do you know how powerful that is for something to stick with somebody for over 500, 600, 700 days? You know how powerful that is? I've had that happen to me multiple times. And not multiple times is in maybe 5, 6, I can count on my hands how many people have come up to me and said, man, I felt like this after you said something to me. That shit was years ago. Also negative comments too. People have come up to me and said, "Hey Trey, you said this and that didn't make me feel very good." And I knew you, and it was with malicious intent. You know when you talking maliciously to somebody, let's not act like you don't know when you talking shit. So know that and practice that to try and be that human that you would want another person to be. Like I said before, Drake is a great example to open up subject matter about being human, about accepting yourself being human, and not sitting around this motherfucker acting like you indestructible or you invincible, because you're not. You can be. You can practice that. You can strive towards it, and maybe one day you might be to help other people out. But you have to buckle down and actually want to change yourself first before you try to go and help change somebody else. Because you need that energy, you need that emotional currency, you need that mental stability in order to do that shit. You can't go around and try to help people if you don't even know how to help your motherfucking self. Hurt people, help people, help people. You know what I'm saying? Hurt people, but help people, help people. It's just that simple. All these statements and stuff like that, certain ones I might not agree with, or certain ones might be a little older, or certain ones might be advancing into something else. Some of that shit ain't changed though. Some of it has not changed, not one bit. So we have to sit here and start to really realize why we even are infatuated with these people, why we even are idolizing certain things, why we're choosing certain gods in our life that we shouldn't be worshiping. You are already a God. You are made in God's image. Not to say that you are a God. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're not the God. You are a God in a sense because you were made in the image of one. But you have to truly and really believe that shit. And I'm slowly starting to realize as I'm talking to y'all that I have to start to believe that shit more. Yes, my skin color plays a part in what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, everybody's human. If I eat, I'm taking the shit. Just like you. Just like your daughter. Just like your dog. Everybody. The whole world. You know what I'm saying? In Woke Insanity, I love when you come in my lives, man. So glad that you came in my live today, man. I appreciate you. Manners, I hope you and your dad, find a way to talk to each other. Me and my mom are talking a lot more to each other now. I've been calling her a lot more now. Damn near calling her every day. Wasn't used to that because I was going through my own trials and tribulations in my head, making it weird for me to want to talk to my parents. You know what I'm saying? But that's me. That's my battle. That's what I got to go through. Going through verbal abuse. A little bit of physical, but honestly, it wasn't too much. I just got my ass whooped, and my mama used to get a little more tipsy than what she said and probably took out some anger on me. But for the most part, my mama ain't really abused me. I got my ass whooped because I needed my ass whooped. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I'm being open with y'all because I want y'all to know, yeah, I'm going to go around, I'm going to make my jokes, I'm going to make content about certain people. But I want y'all to know in the back of my mind, I want to actually try to change somebody's mind, or just that one thought that's negative. If I could just change that one thought that keeps coming up that's holding you back, I feel like I've done enough. Because if I do it again tomorrow, then I'm practicing what I'm preaching. And you preaching what you practice. You know what I'm saying? All right. I gotta leave out soon. But anybody want to say something to try and add to what I'm saying or whatever? If you're watching this after it's done, leave a comment on how you feel about this subject matter. Leave a comment, try to open up some more subject matter pertaining to this or something that isn't related to this, but it can still help somebody. You know, we need to start being able to really dig deep down into ourselves to see what the fuck is going on. Why do you feel this way? What's up? What's really going on? Why do you really want to do drugs? Why do you really want to have sex? Why do you really want to go and rob this person? Why do you really want to go and shoot this person? Why do you really want to go and, you know, why do you want to go and grape somebody? Why do you want to touch kids? Why do you have this urge to do these things that you want to do? You have to dig down on yourself deep before it's too late, because there is a such thing as being too late. It's never too late to change, but once you don't want to change, it's already too late. You know what I mean? Life will show you that you need to, though, regardless if you want to or not. You know what I mean? So that's all I want to say. You know, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm preaching. I'm not trying to sound like I'm better than anybody. That's why I'm being open and vulnerable about certain little things in my life. I don't want to have a mask on. I don't want to have this mask on that everyone else in society is taught to have. I was taught to have it. Maybe I might still put it on at times. I don't know. But I'm really trying to watch myself and see like what I'm saying. Am I manipulating somebody right now? What am I doing? Am I manipulating myself into believing into some bullshit? What am I doing? I'm smoking this Black and Mild. Why am I smoking a Black and Mild that I know is killing me slowly? Why am I eating these things that I know is eventually going to be detriment to my health? Why do I want to be around these people that are no good to me, that ain't giving me shit to be good about? No advice, no guidance, no nothing. Just empty relationships. You know what I mean? And I really hope this live goes viral. It gets 1,000 views, 2,000 views. I really hope it does. And it might got a small chance to do it. So if it doesn't, I don't really give a fuck about that either. It's not about me wanting numbers. It's about me wanting to know that people watched it. I would love for people to watch this live. You know what I'm saying? In society, I always appreciate you challenging my thoughts, not always agreeing with me, but we always come to a common ground. It's always like that. You have to accept the fact that people are not like you. And it's so crazy that the difference, people who are different from you are actually more alike than what you think. Y'all differences actually makes y'all alike. Because the common thing that you got is that, okay, we different from each other. You can start with a conversation with that. What makes you different from me? You can name all these things at the end of the day. A lot of that shit is just adjectives of a human. So how are you different from me being a human? There really is no differences. There really isn't. You have the power to murder somebody. You also have the power to bring life. You have the power to manipulate somebody. You also have the power to influence. You have the power to say words that make someone want to kill themselves. You also have the power to make words that want to make people live longer, beautiful lives. It's your choice. You have free will. But what you do with that free will is up to you. That's why God put us here. Whatever that God is to you. Even if you don't believe in God. Well, that's why your parents had sex and they brought you in this world, to have free will. Because it's a test. It's a test, man. So I'm about to get up out of here. Shout out to the 81 people who tap in with me on this live, man. The vertical live feed, browse features, notifications, which is more important to me than anything. I'm glad that y'all came from notifications. Whoever did, I appreciate you. For real, for real. Probably going live later and lighten the mood up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Make some jokes about some shit, try to find some content to talk about, you know what I mean? Get y'all to laugh, get y'all to come in my comment section, troll and shit. But I do want y'all to know that I definitely want to send a positive message. And I'll try to do that more towards the ends of the live or in between the live and stuff like that to let y'all know. I want to change people's perspective on life for the better, not to make you feel like you less of anything, but to accept the fact that you are less than what you feel like you need to be. If you are less than what you feel like you need to be, accept that and then make changes, constant changes to be that better person. You know what I'm saying? But I got a dip. I appreciate everybody tapping in, tuning in. Much love and appreciation. Shout out to N Woke Society. Shout out to Manners. Shout out to Mike Michaels. Fatimer, Cookie Rookie. KO Nightmare. I'm Fat. Faxa. Ralph. The Mix. All of y'all who came in. Even if y'all got in, got out. Appreciate everybody watching. Hopefully I changed that thought that you don't need in your mind. To 5 years from now, you won't feel like shit. 24 hours from now, even 2 minutes from now. Challenge that thought. See why you feel that shit. Continue to move forward. I'm out. Peace.